Uh-oh, Candace Parker. You've upset the Reese's Pieces, and they're not happy about it. They're going to be coming after you any second. Oh, they're already coming after you. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Candace Parker asked to put certain players in a tier list. You have the S tier, you have the A tier, you have the B tier, and you have the C tier. And where Candace Parker put Angel Reese on this list and her explanation about it, it has upset a large number of the Reese's Pieces.
What happens when Angel Reese fans lose it? Candace Parker gets dragged in for breathing, and Chennedy Carter turns full-time baller, part-time troll? Oh, it's chaos on Isle Chicago. The sky are crashing, the fans are fuming, and Carter's out here clowning like it's open mic night at WNBA Live. Buckle up. This ain't just basketball drama, it's reality TV with jump shots. Let's dive into the madness before someone tweets something else unhinged.
You had comments on Angel Reese and it went viral. People were saying, oh, you're an Angel Reese hater.
They asked me my opinion on player tiers, and my thing is then if you bring something to the argument, bring something else. Can she get to player A or player S or whatever? Yes, she can. Yes. Right now, I don't know if she's alongside those players in B's, and you're measuring her against players that have been in the league for years.
Right.
And so I think that, I've faced it on the men's side when people attack you for what you look like or who you are. That's usually not coming with a solid argument.
Candace Parker said what needed to be said. And apparently, that was the cue for Angel Reese fans to burst into flames like someone lit a match in a room full of hairspray. The minute Parker dared to open her mouth, the entire Reese hive went DEFCON 1, acting like someone insulted their firstborn child and canceled brunch in the same breath. But here's the kicker, Candace wasn't wrong. She simply committed the ultimate sin, saying the quiet part out loud.
Wale, we always know she's a matchup nightmare.
Oh.
Paige Beckers, I can't put her above
we put Arike in the B tier? Come on. Arike is like a D tier player. Arike is a shot chucker. She can barely shoot 35% from the field most games. But go on, Candace, go on.
Sabrina's and the KPs and the Caitlin Clark.
Paige B tier.
But I can put her at that B level.
Okay.
The more Arike and her play together, the better they're going to make one another. Cameron Brink, I think, is, the unknown. So I put Cameron Brink on the C level, I think, just in terms of...
And the quiet part? That Angel Reese isn't exactly the second coming of Lisa Leslie, no matter how many times ESPN tries to Photoshop a crown on her head. It's not shade, it's statistical, it's visible, and frankly, it's getting harder and harder to pretend the Emperor has clothes when she's bricking free throws like she's allergic to rim contact.
So fix it, Candace, fix it. I'm calling on you because I got confidence. You're one of my favorite players of all time, and I talk about you in all of the different conversations if you go and look at the network yourself. So I just hope that you, Candace Parker, fix what you said, what you did. You know what you did when you did, how you did it. Fix it, Candace, because Angel Reese is top tier.
But oh no, say that out loud and suddenly you're tearing down black women or jealous. Jealous? Of what? The double-double factory that was clearly fueled by training wheels, playbook tweaks, and a team so dedicated to propping her up, they may as well have worn Angel Reese merch under their jerseys?
I just think that it's like comparing apples and oranges. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
at least
they don't play the same position.
They like doing the like Magic and the Bird comparison. Well, they played similar positions. Like Bird, he played the guard position. Like they at least kind of match up. This, like, what are we doing? I'm not falling into that. I'm not into the comparison. I think that there are a number of things that Angel can improve on, will improve on in the situation she's in. And I think Caitlin Clark has done that even in her first year in terms of, being able to be that floor general. Her and Aaliyah Boston's connection has really improved. And I think the thing about Caitlin, yes, she can shoot from the logo, but she makes her team.
Let's talk facts, not feelings. If they hadn't coddled Reese her rookie year, carefully scripting rotations and spoon-feeding her minutes like mashed bananas to a toddler, her stats would have been begging for forgiveness. Everyone acts like she's out here dominating on raw talent, when in reality, Her whole narrative has been a performance art piece produced by Instagram Reels and post-game makeup tutorials. It's giving more influencer than impact, and people are finally catching on. Meanwhile, let's talk about the real reason people are so pressed about Candace Parker's commentary. She wasn't just calling out Angel, she was holding up a mirror to the entire fan base that's been hypnotized into thinking mean mugging and TikTok dances count as post moves. The truth is, Reese has become more of a brand than a baller, and when the branding starts to outshine the actual buckets, you know there's a problem. And then there's the Caitlin Clark elephant tap dancing in the middle of the court. See, Candace's take might have been half right on Reese, but her angle on Clark? Laughably off. Clark isn't just cooking, she's flambeing. All those so-called elite defenders that Parker claimed would humble her, they've been left chasing shadows and inhaling jump shot residue. Caitlin doesn't just beat defenses, she publicly humiliates them. Why do you think she's picked up full court every possession like she's a national security threat? Because if you give her 3 inches of space, that ball is going through the net, and your confidence is going straight to therapy. Opponents aren't guarding her. They're trying to survive her. And yes, Angel Reese is one of those defenders. She's been baptized repeatedly by CC22 and then sent right back to the bench looking like she just read her own stat line.
Comes from is that Candace Parker made a tier list and put, of all the top players in the WNBA, where, by the way, every single player, or like all the players on this list, were good. So there's no bad players. It's like if you had a tier list where you only had the top 10 players in the world, you would have a top 10 player in the world in D tier. Like, it is what it is. And basically, first of all, the Angel Reese fans attacked her because she basically said what is correct. Angel Reese is a fantastic, third option.
Yet the same fans who shout, "Protect black women," turn around and throw grenades at Candace Parker for daring to have an opinion they don't like. The irony writes itself. But let's get to the real MVP of this circus, Chennedy Carter. While Reese's fans were crying on social media and Parker was out here giving graduate-level basketball analysis, Chennedy logged onto the internet with a flamethrower and a pack of popcorn. She wasn't just watching the Sky's losing season implode, she was DJing the soundtrack, posting like she's the petty fairy godmother of Chicago's downfall. It's honestly poetic. While the Sky flounder, Carter's trolling from the shadows like a disgruntled ex who knows where the bodies are buried. She's not even in the game, and somehow she's the most entertaining part of this whole fiasco. Carter's posts could be framed and put in the Louvre under petty excellence. Because when your former team is collapsing like a folding chair in a thunderstorm, sometimes all you can do is laugh and tweet. Meanwhile, Angel Reese continues to puff her chest out in pressers, talking a big game while her box scores whisper for help. Her fans swear she's being targeted. Targeted? She's being evaluated.
Of WNBA players, I'm gonna try. Asia Wilson, reigning MVP, couple Defensive Player of the Years, 2 championships. If there was something higher than S, I would definitely put her up there. But Nafisa Collier is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's gonna raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, she's gotta have a couple more years. Have an impact on the defensive end immediately. Then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
And based on the footage, it's a rough report card. In fact, giving her a C was generous. Some might call that charity, because if she wasn't constantly being babied by rotations, teammates setting up her stat padding, and a media apparatus that treats her like basketball royalty, she'd be on the bench next to the water bottles wondering why no one's handing her the ball anymore. Reese's game isn't evolving, it's looping. She gets the ball, goes through the same predictable moves, and hopes for a bailout whistle or a highlight play. And when that doesn't happen, the mask slips and the cracks show. She gets frustrated, starts barking at refs, and suddenly it's everyone else's fault. That's not leadership. That's a diva complex. And if anyone dares to mention this, cue the outrage machine. Because in today's world, honest criticism gets labeled as hate if the subject wears lashes and confidence. But confidence without production is just noise. And people are starting to realize the volume isn't matching the value. Which brings it back to Candace Parker. The woman has championships, Olympic medals, and a basketball IQ that could coach circles around half the league. If she says something, maybe, just maybe, it's not out of jealousy or bitterness.
Game is just as important as dropping a 40-point game. Because let's be clear, even I'm sure if you were realistically on the WNBA streets, and it's on Twitter or it's on Threads, whichever one you prefer, or maybe you are on both, and I'm sure if you are on both, by now you'd have probably seen a video going viral of Candace Parker sitting here saying she felt like Angel Reese is a C-level player. Basically sitting here saying she's a role player because she couldn't be the first or second option on no team. And she just said she's a great offensive player. And let's be clear, I do think, I feel that what she said about Angel Reese is the same thing I feel about when I hear people was comparing Angel Reese to Drake.
Maybe it's because she's watching the same footage as the rest of us, except she knows how to read it. But the Reese defense squad doesn't want truth. They want fairy tales. They want a world where performance doesn't matter and optics are everything, where swagger is more valuable than substance, where criticizing a bad game is an attack and holding players accountable is internalized misogynoir. This is the paradox of Angel Reese, marketed as a dog but plays like a kitten when it matters most. And while her fans light torches in her defense, Candace Parker is sitting back watching it all unfold, probably sipping a smoothie, knowing that one day people will finally admit she wasn't being harsh, she was being honest. And if they're lucky, they'll realize it before Caitlin Clark drops another 30-piece on their generational talent while being guarded like she just stole someone's identity. Reese doesn't need more defenders on Twitter. She needs to defend someone on the court. She doesn't need fans barking at Candace Parker. She needs to show Parker was wrong by producing. You don't silence criticism with Instagram reels and catchy slogans. You do it with wins. You do it with buckets. You do it by not getting outplayed by rookies who didn't come with a prepackaged PR machine. The league isn't a high school popularity contest. This is the pros. And while the fans play keyboard warriors, the veterans like Candace Parker are playing chess. She's not here to cuddle egos. She's here to elevate the game. If that makes some people uncomfortable, maybe it's not the message, it's the mirror.
It's disheartening, the comments that Candace Parker is saying. It's something that you wouldn't expect from her. It's something that you would not expect from her. Sorry, I'm repeating myself because I'm just like kind of blown away at this point by some of the things that I'm seeing when it comes to Candace Parker and you know what she's saying in the video. I don't know if everyone has seen it. I don't want to call it jealousy. I don't think she's jealous, right? Candace Parker has a career. She's a Hall of Famer. All of that. I don't think it's jealousy. I just think it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can hate on somebody without being jealous of them. You can hate on somebody
and let that do her talking, please. If turning the ball over 10 times in a single game is her version of speaking up, then we need to revoke her microphone privileges ASAP. Because right now, all she's saying is, hey, let me personally hand the other team 10 opportunities to embarrass us on national television. At some point, the stat sheet stops looking like a rough night and starts resembling sabotage. Let's be honest, 10 turnovers in a game isn't just bad. It's basketball malpractice. That's not pressure, it's donation. The ball should be a tool, not a party favor. When you're fumbling like you've never seen a double team before, it's not elite defense. That's just basketball doing quality control. And the worst part? We're supposed to sit here and pretend like it's all part of the learning curve. Number. That curve is starting to look like a flat line. You want to be treated like an A-lister? Start performing like one. Because being on the A-list in the WNBA doesn't just mean flashy pre-game fits and viral quotes, it means delivering when it counts. And if you're dribbling the game away in crunch time like you're allergic to composure, then no, you don't get to sit at the big table. You're still at the kiddie table, hoping someone passes you a juice box and a reality check. Clutch moments separate the icons from the influencers. A-list players live for those last 5 seconds. It's where legends are carved into hardwood. not crumbled into blooper reels.
Even when she had the triple-double, because it was a light joint, it was like 11 and 10 or whatever the case may be. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but it was still a triple-double. So I understood people were kind of leaning on that side. But let's be clear. You got to see yesterday firsthand, hey, Angel Reese missed this game. You got to see all the holes that she fills in that her team weaknesses is, even guarding 1 through 5. And let's be clear, I love Rachel Banham, but I say this during every game. Rachel could knock down some threes. I'm just more lights out. When Rachel got it going, same thing. Well, I'm saying her and Rebecca Allen are a little bit different, because I do think Rebecca Allen is a way better defender. But let's just stay on Rachel. And even with Sloot couldn't guard her. So I don't care how much people call her the floor general. Maybe back in her day when she actually had, and I think father time is a little bit different for everybody. But
if you've got the ball in your hands and the clock ticking down, and your best move is a brick, a turnover, or a confused stare at the defense, then congratulations. You're not ready. Not for the spotlight. Not for the hype. Not for the throne. People keep trying to crown you with before you've earned it. Meanwhile, let's not pretend being double-teamed is some tragic injustice. Newsflash, elite players expect to be double-teamed. It's not just about talent, it's about control. And if you're racking up giveaways like you're in a holiday spirit, you are not in control of anything except your team's downfall. And still, somehow, the post-game narrative is never about the sloppiness. It's always framed like a gritty performance or a tough learning experience. Number. It was a mess. And the sooner someone says that out loud, the better off everyone will be, including her. This is not hate. This is accountability. Somewhere along the way, criticism became taboo, especially if you're a player with a built-in fan army who thinks effort should be rewarded like results.
Debate. I love it. Tell me I'm wrong, but bring facts to the table. And so that's the biggest thing. There's no hate on Angel Reese. I love her. She plays for the Chicago Sky. I saw her at my jersey retirement versus LA. So it's nothing like that. But I think it's so interesting in this female space, the need to have to explain some of these things like that you don't see, where we worked with the guys at Turner, where they come on and they say stuff that's just so outlandish. I will never attack anybody's character. I will never attack who they are ever, and I just hope that others will do.
But here's the truth. Effort without execution is noise. And 10 turnovers? That's not trying. That's actively sabotaging your own team. You can't demand praise and protection when your own handle is handing L's out like promotional flyers. And don't even start with the rookie grace period excuses. There are rookies who walk into this league and immediately look like they belong because they come prepared. They adjust. Some players let their game talk. Others have their game screaming, "Help!" at decibel levels that would make a fire alarm blush. It's not the critics who are being harsh. It's the scoreboard. It's the stats. It's the teammates hustling their guts out while watching another possession vanish into thin air because someone forgot how to pivot under pressure. And don't get it twisted. There's a difference between swagger and skill. Swagger fades fast when you've just gifted the other team double-digit possessions. You can stomp, you can stare, you can pose for cameras, but if you're not delivering on the court, that energy just starts to look unhinged.
But it's mainly better offensive rebounding, and her main thing is her offensive rebounding, which, by the way, I would put Angel Reese a tier higher than Candace Parker did, and I think she probably would too now, because it is she's been on an absolute tear. The last 8 or 9 games, she's been on an absolute tear, and if she can consistently keep that up, we put her into a super different high conversation with some of the best players in the world. But another thing, the UConn fans have turned on her. Apparently it's UConn bias.
The A-list doesn't do theatrics without substance. They earn the right to flex. Want to talk about who's really talking? Watch the veterans. The ones who step up when it's closing time. The ones who take care of the ball like it owes them money. The ones who hit that shot with 3 seconds left, not because they're lucky, but because they've rehearsed it 1,000 times, under pressure without flinching. That's A-list. That's what the bar looks like. Right now, the conversation is being driven by reputation, not performance. And when the two don't match, eventually people catch on. The narrative starts to shift. The admiration turns into eye rolls. The support becomes skepticism. And you either show up and shut it down, or you become background noise while the real stars take over. If you're not the one making the winning shot, orchestrating the comeback, or calmly navigating that double team like a GPS with elite footwork, then you're not ready for the label you've been so desperately clinging to. And here's the most uncomfortable part. Some players have figured this out and adapted. Quietly, efficiently. They're not tweeting through the slumps or dropping motivational one-liners. They're grinding, improving, adjusting. You know, the boring stuff that actually turns good players into great ones.
I absolutely love this comment because this hits on exactly what I wanted to address. The commenter said that it's not about trying to change Candace Parker's mind about Angel Reese. It's about the fact that labeling Angel Reese as only an offensive or defensive rebounder and not talking about the rest of her skill set, placing her in a category with other players that don't seem to line up with her, just doesn't compute. And folks want that kind of thought process fleshed out. As a person who has the utmost respect for Candace Parker, I'm a Chicago girl. I grew up seeing clips of her dunking in high school at Naperville. I too was thrown off by that ranking. It didn't resonate with the player that I cover, that I see.
Meanwhile, others are still treating every mistake like it's someone else's fault. Or worse, pretending it didn't happen while retweeting fan edits. The A-list doesn't care about edits. They care about excellence. They don't need excuses because their results speak louder than any viral clip or dramatic stare down. And until you can string together more than a quarter of clean basketball, until you can show up in the clutch and actually close, then it's time to admit you're not there yet. Not even close. So yeah, let the turnovers talk, let the missed shots with the game on the line do the explaining. Let the inability to handle a trap defense speak for itself. Because right now, the resume isn't matching the hype, and the A-list table is looking real full. Come back when you've earned a seat, without needing 10 people to help you carry your plate.